How's it going? I'm Ryan. Today, I'm going to go over the four trades I took on ES. Definitely overtraded today. Not super proud of it. We have a losing day on our hands, but we recovered some of it, and I just need to get off while I can. But we'll review the trades I took and why, and then we'll move along. It'll be a short video, not a whole lot. So both NQ and ES were moving higher on the day. Pre-market was above previous day's range. Right off the open, we broke above pre-market high and looked really bullish. Everything was pointing bullish. EMAs were bullish. Price action breaking above the previous day's range, etc., etc. So we did have some good bullish indicators here. We got a really strong move up. We didn't have much of a pullback. That was true on both NQ and ES. We did get a pullback eventually. We pulled back and started holding this EMA on ES, which I entered along. My stop was below a little bit below the EMA. My take profit was a break of high a day. We pulled back a little further and stopped me out. You can see my entry and exit here. Then we popped up and we kind of reclaimed the EMA with a hammer, and it looked like we were forming a bit of a bull flag. So at the time, I was convinced that maybe I was stopped out prematurely. We were still going to go up. So I did a cardinal sin. I re-entered, but I re-entered with double my position, trying to make that loss back. I shouldn't have done that. So now we are sitting with double position. Put my stop below this level. Took one take profit at this level here at like 613. Had another take profit at break high a day. And then we dropped pretty aggressively and stopped me out there. So at this point, I was sitting on a pretty big loss, about $900 down. We came down and we approached yesterday's high of day and that 200 EMA. I took a long here. I oversized and I just scalped a quick bounce. I made back a decent amount. I took some scalps in here. I was looking for this break of the 200 EMA and the move down, which we're getting now. But I kind of did it a little too early and I got stopped out for a loss here. And then I entered again and caught a little win. So probably break even on those little shenanigans. We're sitting at about 492 on the day in terms of being red. Not great, but it was about half of what it was earlier. So we made back some of that loss, which I'll take making some of that loss back because I did not want to lose that much today. Yep, definitely could have played this a lot better, and not super stoked on how it went. I think there's two legit trades. I think this pullback in here, this long, wasn't a bad idea. I think my entry could have been slightly better, but that first loss wasn't a huge problem. It was what, 225, not a bad loss, right? That's very manageable. The re-entry with double the position was a mistake. I could have avoided. If I avoided that, then I probably wouldn't have felt inclined to take this scalp down here. And then all these were just kind of stupid. The only other one actually in here that was legitimate was that we broke and closed below the 200 EMA and then retested that 13 EMA and then came down and closed below. That's actually where I entered. Once we got that close below here, after rejecting, we closed below. I entered and then we got that quick drop. And that's really just looking at like momentum. If we have our 200 EMA and we have like our kind of last line of defense or like a area that we expect to hold as support, if we get a small little bounce and then we break that support, I'm expecting things to flush, which they did. We once we closed below, in the next couple of minutes we dropped like 7 points. So that wasn't a terrible trade. Probably the very first trade and the very last trade I took were legitimate. All the others in between were kind of silly and definitely needed more confirmation. The bounce off the 200 EMA and the previous day high, not a terrible idea. I mean, it played out and it happens very often. Now I'm looking at this, wishing I held my position a little there. We could get an extra 4 points or so, whatever. Anyways, that's all I got. I'm gonna get out of here before I do something stupid. I've already done enough stupid things today, trading wise. So we're going to call it a day and come back, try to make things right the next couple days. But taking things slow. I'm not in a rush to pass these. I just have to pass them and keep them. Really my goal. And with that goal, I shouldn't be oversizing like I did today. So not the greatest day in terms of discipline for me, but look to wrap that up. And had I just taken that very first loss, been much more manageable than where we're at now. It's funny, you take a loss, you try to make it back, and you end up in a worse position than had you just accepted your loss. So, lessons learned. All right, I'm gonna head out and go about my day, so I'm not here staring at this chart. That's all I got. Hope you have a great day. Peace.